Hi, welcome back to our series on human resource management. Today we're talking about workplace diversity and managing a diverse employee population. Now, this is a pretty popular topic these days, and for good reason. There are a lot of benefits for an organization to have a diverse employee population. And let's talk about that. All right, managing diversity in the workplace. So first, let's define it. Let's define diversity in the workplace. Differences that include religious affiliation, age, disability status, military experience, sexual orientation, economic class, educational level, lifestyle, gender, race, ethnicity, nationality, you name it. It's diversity. In other words, it's really hard to put a limit on something that is meant to be diverse. Anything that makes us unique individuals, interesting people, that is workplace diversity. Now, when we talk about diversity in the workplace, we are not talking about tolerating or accommodating differences. That's a very ethnocentric approach, like, oh, it's all about me and anything that's different from me is diverse, but you know what? I'm a swell guy, so I accommodate and tolerate things that are not like me. No. That's not what we're talking about. Workplace diversity means supporting, nurturing, and utilizing these differences to the organization's advantage. So here's the thing. We can make money by practicing diversity in the workplace. We will make more money. We will be more successful. We will have more innovation. We will be more productive. We will be more able to solve problems if we have a thriving, diverse organization than if we just had a very, homogeneous, myopic organization. And that's the case I'm going to make today. And so let me show you what I mean. Let me ask you the question, why do you want a blank person on your team? Well, think about it. Why do you want a young person on your team? Because they are energetic, they're willing to try things, they're exuberant, they're open to learning, they're fungible, they are coachable, they, just have this energy that's going to take you places. Old people don't have any of that crap. Now, let me be clear, I'm talking in very, very gross generalities to make a point, but bear with me. Well, then why do you want old people on your team? Because obviously they must be a waste of space if young people bring all this awesomeness. No. Old people bring experience. They bring even-keeled attitudes. Been there, done that, got the t-shirt. They bring perspective. They bring learning. They bring wisdom. When something goes terribly wrong, young folks just freak out because it's the end of the world. Old folks say, yeah, I remember this happened in June of 2007. Calm down, we know what to do. So as you see, youth and age together brings something greater than if they were there individually. Same thing goes with male, female. Why do you want men on your team? You know what? Men are pretty good at compartmentalizing. They can analyze the situation. They can make quick, clear decisions. They can rationalize things very well. 1, 2, 3, bing, bang, boom, let's get work done. Well, isn't that what all work is about? So why do we bother having females on board? We bring females on board because they are the communicators. They are the connectors. They are the ones who connect all the dots and synthesize new understanding and new perspectives that the men don't see. They build networks. They build passion around the cause. So, as you see, once again, organization of nothing but men, organization of nothing but women, both will suffer. Put them together and you've got something phenomenal. Muslim, Christian, Jewish, same thing. We can just keep going down the line. I'll give you an example of Muslim, Christian, Jewish. When I worked for Intel Corporation, well, you know what, in the U.S., we don't work on Sunday. That's the quote-unquote holy day, if you will. Well, you know what? In Israel, the holy day is Saturday. They don't work Saturdays. Well, you know what? In Muslim countries, the holy day is Friday. They only work about half a day on Friday. Well, guess what? By having a multitude of religious traditions in the organization, our company could basically be 24/7, follow the sun model. There was always somebody in the office working the issue no matter what. My father-in-law, he's a retired airline pilot, and he would tell the story that, during Christmas and so forth, his Jewish co-workers would say, hey, I'll take your flight on Christmas. That's not a big deal. And then during Passover or whatever holiday that his Jewish co-workers would like to celebrate, he'd say, well, yeah, heck, I'll take that flight. That's no big deal to me. So by working together, we can provide greater services. Black, white, Hispanic. Talk about different perspectives and different understandings of the world and how we operate in it. Many folks on the Hispanic, Latinx side are open communicators. They use high context communication, whereas the Caucasian community tends to use more of a low context communication. So the point is, you get all kinds of opportunities. Ambulatory, wheelchair. How could somebody in a wheelchair offer a perspective that somebody who walks? I mean, how is that even possible to think about? Well, I'll tell you something. I had a coworker back at Intel who was in a wheelchair, and I have never seen better problem-solving skills in my life. Now, the good news is she was a business analyst, and business analysts, they're in the job of understanding a situation so they can provide better data for better problem solving and decision making. Well, for me as an ambulatory individual, the whole world is built for me. It is constructed. It is designed for me. Nothing in the world is designed for her as somebody in a wheelchair. So everything she had to do, she had to kind of figure out and problem solve what she was going to do when and where to achieve what and in what capacity. It was quite fascinating and amazing to see. And she was able to transition those same life skills over to the company, and we benefited from it. All right, so this is what I'm saying. This is not about political correctness. This is about building an organization rich in talent, skills, and perspectives so we can solve complex, multifaceted problems. Okay, as you can see, I really care about this sort of thing. This is important. This is about creating an organization in which everyone can thrive no matter who they are, and in the process become successful and make money. I mean, who doesn't want that? Now, by the way, let's go ahead and look at some of the things that are kind of coming up in the HR world regarding some of these diverse issues that we're talking about. Let's think about gender for a moment. Today, more women than men hold college degrees. Women make up about half of the workforce, not surprising today. Almost 60% of marriages are dual earner marriages. And now check out this one. 1 of every 4 married women in a 2-income household earns more than her husband. Now, 20 years ago, that would have been unthinkable, the idea that the woman earned more than the male, because, well, gee, that just doesn't happen. Today, no, that happens plenty, because women are out there, they're getting college degrees, they're working their butts off, and they're being recognized for it, and they're earning more than their husbands, because they're in different fields. And yet, check this out. There's still sexism in the workplace. Sexual harassment is rampant, and there are fewer promotions for women than for their male counterparts. And women are still earning less than their male counterparts. This is something we talked about in a previous video, but this is something that has to change. And it is the role and responsibility of HR organizations to help make that change possible. And By the way, if women are the ones who are getting the college degrees and building their careers more these days, that's going to have ramifications for HR and for the type of benefits that we offer. We're going to have to offer benefits that are appealing to working women and working mothers. Okay, let's look at minority and immigrants. Now, in many parts of the country, English has become a bona fide second language. And foreign-born workers make up about 15% of the labor force here in the U.S. And 1 in 40 people in the United States identifies his or herself as multiracial. So what does this mean for HR? Well, it means that you might have to offer your HR benefits and your policies and handbooks in Spanish as well as English. Well, what do you mean? This is America. We speak English. You know what? No. Your job is to attract and retain the very best talent. And if that very best talent has Spanish as a second language, you're going to provide information that they need in Spanish. It's just that simple. If foreign-born workers make up more than 15% of the labor workforce, what kind of benefits are they going to require? What kind of multicultural facets are they going to bring to the workplace that you need to accommodate? So there are a lot of things that will affect organizations in the future because of the rise of minorities and immigrants in the workforce. Okay, then what about mental and physical disability? Well, I want to invite you to kind of recalibrate your brain when it comes to those with disabilities. Think of a disability not as a deficiency, but as just another demographic characteristic. So what do I mean by a demographic characteristic? Well, some people are male, female, something in between. Some people are tall, some people are short, some people have red hair, some people have blonde hair, some people have black hair, some people are old, some people are young. These are demographic characteristics. None of those characteristics are deficiencies. Nobody says, oh, you're a brunette, huh? I'm really sorry about that. And nobody goes up to somebody who is female and goes, oh, you're female. You're so brave. I could never do that. No! These are just demographic characteristics. They are not deficiencies. And yet, when we think of disabled, we think of deficiency. Now, let me show you what I mean. Here's a continuum. On the far left, we've got disabled. On the far right, we have able-bodied. Where are you on this continuum? Now, in my case, you know what? I'm ambulatory. I can walk, I can run, I can do things just fine. So I might say, okay, I'm going to put myself over on the far right. I'm able-bodied. I'm kind of old, so my knee hurts and my hip kind of gives me issues now and again. So I'm not on the far right, but I'm able-bodied. Well, here's the thing though. The question we did not first ask before answering the question is, what is the standard? Who is the standard against whom we are measuring ourselves? Because without a standard, I immediately put into my mind's eye disabled as being a wheelchair and able-bodied being as walking around. But what if I were to say the standard is LeBron James? That is the standard against whom we should measure ourselves on this continuum of disabled and able-bodied. So with LeBron James as the standard, am I still on the far right? Well, no. I mean, obviously, I'm somewhere in the middle. I don't know where exactly, but I am certainly not on the far right with him as the standard. And yet, this can be applied to every facet of mental and physical disability. It's not a question of where are you deficient or what do you lack. It's a question of how do you operate in this world given who you are just as a demographic characteristic. I could run the same continuum scenario with Stephen Hawking up there as the mental benchmark. So am I mentally disabled or am I able-bodied mentally? Well, I have a son who is mentally disabled, and so I'm not him, but I can hold a conversation, so I'll put myself over on the far right. Well, now if I put Stephen Hawking as the standard, I'm now somewhere in the middle. And so, since there is no standard, there is no one person that we hold up as the gold standard, we need to recognize that there is no deficiency. It's simply a demographic characteristic, and everybody, given the right opportunity, can provide value to the organization. And so that's once again my assertion. It's not about being politically correct. It's about building an organization rich in talent, skills, and perspectives to solve complex, multifaceted problems. Because at the end of the day, we all want to have thriving careers, we want to make money, and we want to do something special and meaningful. And everybody can do that, and we can do it more effectively when we do it together. And so there you go. Pretty important stuff. As you can see, it's more than just political correctness. There are a lot of benefits to organizations encouraging workplace diversity. All right, hang in with us. We're doing all right. We're getting toward the end. Until then, have a fantastic day.